Did you know that the most famous medieval manuscript, the Cotton Fatalis AXV, is the reason we know Beowulf today? Ciao! I want to do a quick overview of the manuscripts that Beowulf is written on. So we know roughly that from about the 8th century it was passed down through oral tradition, and then around kind of like the late 10th, early 11th centuries, so somewhere around 975 to 1025, it was written down by monks in a monastery. We know it was 2 because the handwriting kind of changes. My script here says a dramatic reenactment or visuals of scribes writing in the monastery. Why would I do that? That's stupid. Anyway, so like I said, 8th century, passed down through oral tradition. 10th, 11th century, 2 scribes copy it down on vellum, vellum parchment. We don't know whether they copied it down from someone telling them the story or whether they copied it from an original manuscript that no longer exists. Who knows? So then there's nothing, absolutely nothing, until about 1563 when Laurence Nowell gets a hold of this manuscript, and he writes on the front page, what is it again? I keep forgetting this. Laurence Nowell, 1563. Some people actually write their name on it inside pages of a book, their name and the date they got it. He's written Laurence Nowell, 1563. So we know he had it at that time. We don't know whether he had it many years before that, or whether he just received it then, or was he doing any research on it. I'm not sure there is any research on the paper, or he's done any writing to do with it. I think we just know that he had it at that time, and that's the end of it. If you're wondering as well, that when Nowell had it, it was called the Nowell Codex. And then again, nothing until about, let's say, the 17th century. The numbers I can find roughly kind of like 1609 to 1629. And this is where Robert Bruce Cotton got hold of it. And this is where it gets its name, the Cotton Fatalis AXV, comes into play. So Robert Bruce Cotton was collecting manuscripts, and between 1609 and 1629 a whole bunch of people died, and he just bought up all of their old manuscripts and set up the entire freaking library for this stuff. So the name Cotton, obviously named after cotton. Sometimes you'll see it as Cotton MS, that's the Cotton manuscript. The Vitellius is because the shelf unit that the manuscript was on had a bust of a Roman Emperor Vitellius. The A represents the shelf, so it was the first shelf, A, and the XV is Roman numerals 15. It was the 15th manuscript on that shelf. So the Cotton Fatalis AXV was the owner, the shelf unit it was on, the shelf it was on, and then how many from the left it was number 15. And then of course it passed through his sons until it gets to John Cotton, who died in 1702, and from that point on it went into crown ownership. This means it was now owned by the crown, I imagine. It just says crown ownership, it doesn't get specific, but that's what I'm assuming. And I'm not sure whether it was at Ashburnham House at the time, or whether it was moved to Ashburnham House, but in 1731 Ashburnham House had a bit of a fire. And so when you look at the manuscript, you can see that some of the pages are actually quite singed or completely burnt away. This affected some of the text as well. Kevin Kiernan has done several different scans and different wavelengths of light to try and pick up what's left. And ever since then, ever since that fire, so 1731, it's been sitting in the British Library. Actually, no, it went to the British Museum, I think, first. It was at the British Museum, then it came to the British Library, and that's where it's sitting right now. So they have it, and they don't leave it out for very long. It spends some time in darkness because I don't want to ruin the parchment. And of course, I'm just waiting for that to happen again so I can go down and take a look, get some photos and some video of the actual manuscript, because I think that would be really fucking cool to actually see with my own two eyes. Because I think the less interaction it has with people, the longer it will last. Yeah, so this was just a kind of quick and dirty overview of the Beowulf manuscript. I do at some point want to do a more comprehensive history of the manuscript. there is a lot of information we do know. I've omitted quite a lot because this video would just be far too long. So whether that next video would be just one long video or a series of videos, we'll wait and see. I have to actually write up everything I need to know to make that video at the time. So hit that like button to validate me, because I like being validated, and subscribe if you want to see future videos about Beowulf, because that's kind of where this channel is going right now. Next week it will be my video, my first, I'm not sure, there's probably going to be more than one part, my first about this Monsters and the Critics lecture that Tolkien gave in 1936. Yeah, see you next time.